Hi everyone, and welcome to my video on reflecting what we learned in this class, this communication class. I feel like I learned a lot of things. So I'm going to start by going through kind of what we did for each module. So we learned a different avenue of communication in each module, and I felt that every single one of them were extremely helpful, and I liked that the way that they panned out because I think that they built on each other really well. So the first module we learned about verbal and nonverbal communication, which is basically communication between all people and different kinds of communication. Second module, we learned about health literacy guidelines, which is basically the communication between patient and provider and how to do that effectively so that way they understand. Three, we learned about communication tools, so different ways that we can communicate with each other and different things that we can use to do that. Four, we learned about a written communication plan, which is basically figuring out a plan or a way to help communication that is specific to your or my practice or office. Number five, we learned about team communication, which is how to work well connecting with your coworkers. So, again, another implement of something that is specific to your practice or office. Six, we learned about HIPAA and all the HIPAA guidelines. And this is very important because this is knowing what kinds of communication we have or kinds of things we have to do that way we don't break laws or violate rights of any sort. Number seven is medical errors, which is also very important. Knowing what kinds of things could happen if we don't communicate well. Communication is key when it comes to preventing medical errors, and so it's really important that we stay on top of what's going on. And then eight, last but not least, cultural competency, which is learning how to communicate with people who have different lifestyles and beliefs. So when I look at all of these modules and then I look at the purpose of all these individual assignments, um, like I said earlier, I really felt like they built off each other really well. So one thing kind of built your knowledge, and then on we go down the list. By the end, you feel like you've got every single aspect or avenue of communication plans. And so the purpose is really just to teach me and all of my fellow students how to be better at communicating and to learn how to fix issues that are going on in our offices or practices. And I personally have put things that I have learned in this class into play a lot in the past 8 weeks. I realize that there's a lot of issues that I have in my office that I was not happy with, and I've actually gone and talked to people about things based on how I learned them in this class. So one of them was the S-bar technique, and I actually used that the other day, which was really satisfying to me. So if one module was absent, it would really, I think, affect everything that I learned. I feel like all 8 of these things were so important, and like I said, when they built off of each other, that if I didn't have one, it would be a problem, I think. So how can I protect myself by establishing communication skills? Well, it for, like, let's say HIPAA, that obviously is really important. That protects my license, and same with medical errors. But things like verbal and nonverbal communication, it protects me because it allows me to be a better hygienist, and so it protects my license and ensures my job. And also things like team communication or written communication plan, it helps our office be better, and so it protects us that way. Um, Honestly, as far as which communication is most important, all of them are important. I think legally HIPAA is probably most important because we have to follow those guidelines. And of course, preventing medical errors is a huge thing, but all of them are important in different ways. It's hard to kind of compare them all because they all address something different, and so each one is most important, honestly. Um, if I had not taken this class, I think I would not have addressed some of the issues that I have seen lately in my office. And I'm really thankful that I did take this class for that reason because things are starting to change. And I've noticed that my office is running a little bit better by the things that I have noticed and addressed. And I've been very thankful for this class for that reason. And it's made me think through things that I didn't even think about before. I mean, there were a couple HIPAA guidelines that we were breaking in my office. I mean, it was very, very small guidelines that we were breaking. I mean, very minimal things, but I've addressed those and we've changed things. And I'm going, wherever I go, whatever job I take, wherever office I work in, I will continue to remember the things that I learned and apply myself to those. So overall, I'm very thankful for this class. I'm very thankful for the things that I've learned, and I am so glad that I have had the opportunity to learn about these things. So overall, would definitely recommend a class like this to anybody that works in the healthcare field. So thanks for watching.